Rising mental health issues among youth could be related to hormonal disruptions from radiation exposure. The impact of radiation from blue light to microwaves on hormones is a crucial area of study that indeed warrants more attention, especially considering the significant rise in gender and mental health issues among today's youth. Here are some points to consider and elaborate upon. Hormonal effects of radiation. Blue light. Prolonged exposure to blue light from screens can disrupt the production of melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep. Disrupted sleep patterns can lead to various mental health issues, including anxiety and depression. Furthermore, melatonin plays a role in regulating other hormones, so its disruption can have broader hormonal impacts. Microwave radiation. Exposure to microwave radiation from devices such as cell phones and Wi-Fi routers has been linked to changes in hormone levels. Studies suggest that microwave radiation can affect the endocrine system, leading to alterations in hormones such as testosterone, estrogen, and cortisol. Circadian rhythm. Disruption. Both blue light and microwave radiation can disrupt circadian rhythms, which are tightly linked to the regulation of hormones. Disrupted circadian rhythms can affect the balance of stress hormones, reproductive hormones, and thyroid hormones, potentially leading to a range of physical and mental health issues. Gender and mental health issues. Gender dysphoria. There has been a noticeable increase in the diagnosis of gender dysphoria among youth. Hormonal imbalances caused by environmental factors, including radiation, could potentially play a role in influencing gender identity. Hormones are critical in the development of gender-specific physical traits and behaviors, and disruptions could contribute to confusion or distress regarding gender identity. Mental health disorders. The rise in mental health disorders such as anxiety, depression, and ADHD among youth could be linked to hormonal imbalances caused by radiation exposure. Hormones like cortisol and thyroid hormones are crucial for brain function and mental health. Disruptions in these hormones can lead to mood disorders, cognitive issues, and behavioral problems. Need for further research. Longitudinal studies. There is a need for long-term studies to understand the cumulative effects of radiation exposure on hormonal health over time. Such studies should include diverse populations to account for different genetic susceptibilities. Mechanistic studies. Research should focus on the mechanisms by which radiation affects hormone production and regulation. Understanding these mechanisms can help develop interventions to mitigate the effects. Public health policies. Based on research findings, public health policies should be updated to limit exposure to harmful radiation, especially for children and adolescents. This could include guidelines on screen time, use of protective devices, and safe distances from radiation sources. Advocacy and awareness. Educational campaigns. Raising awareness about the potential risks of radiation exposure and its impact on hormonal health is essential. Educational campaigns can help parents, educators, and youth make informed decisions about their use of technology. Protective measures. Encouraging the use of blue light filters, screen time management tools, and EMF protection devices can help reduce exposure and its potential impacts. By addressing these points, we can better understand the connection between radiation exposure and the rise in gender and mental health issues, ultimately leading to more effective prevention and intervention strategies. Your health and safety are under threat due to recent decisions that have significantly impacted critical health research and safety regulations. I urge you to join me in addressing these issues by putting pressure on our candidates to take action. The cessation of important health research by the National Toxicology Program, NTP, and the urgent need to update the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, safety guidelines on electromagnetic radiation are matters of grave concern. Restore NTP funding for critical health research. The National Toxicology Program, or NTP, has been at the forefront of researching the health impacts of electromagnetic radiation. Their studies have provided clear evidence of cancer risks associated with high levels of RF radiation in rats. These findings are critical, showing that long-term exposure to RF radiation can lead to cancer. Despite these significant findings, the current administration has discontinued further studies due to funding constraints. Restoring funding to the NTP is essential for continuing this crucial research. Understanding the long-term health effects of RF radiation is vital for public health and for advancing bioelectric medicine, a field that holds the promise of groundbreaking treatments and a new era in healthcare. By prioritizing this research, we can ensure that our scientific understanding keeps pace with technological advancements, ultimately leading to better health outcomes for all Americans. The FCC's safety guidelines for RF radiation, established in 1996, have not been updated to reflect recent scientific findings. A recent court ruling highlighted that the FCC had failed to adequately address the health effects of RF radiation beyond cancer, including potential impacts on reproductive health, neurological function, and children's health. Over the last 20 years, thousands of studies have indicated health risks from RFR, with the most significant findings emerging in the last 10 years. These studies, including major ones like the Interphone Study, Hardell Group Studies, Serenat Study, NTP, Ramazzini Institute Study, Reflex Project, Bioinitiative Report, and the work of researchers like Dr. Henry Lai, collectively point towards an increased health risk from cell phone-level electromagnetic radiation. They suggest the need for caution in dismissing potential risks. Recent advancements in RF radiation research show biological interactions beyond thermal effects. For example, the FDA-approved Therabionic treatment employs RF radiation at power levels up to 1,000 times lower than those emitted by cell phones, effectively treating inoperable liver cancer through non-thermal interactions at the cellular or molecular level. This includes resonance effects, disruption of cellular signaling, and potential modulation of the immune system. This challenges the traditional view that non-ionizing cell phone radiation is biologically inert, except for its heating properties. Existent literature points toward a yet untapped therapeutic potential of RF EMF treatment, which might aid in damaging cancer cells through bioelectrical and electromechanical molecular mechanisms while minimizing adverse effects on healthy tissue cells. Your voice matters. By advocating for the restoration of NTP funding and the update of FCC safety guidelines, you can make a significant impact on public health. The substantial body of research over the past 2 decades, particularly in the last 10 years, underscores the health risks associated with RFR from cell phones. Non-thermal effects, which are not accounted for in current safety guidelines, pose significant concerns that have been validated by large-scale animal studies and recent genetic profiling research. Given these findings, it is crucial to adopt precautionary measures, such as using hands-free devices, limiting call durations, and keeping cell phones away from the head and body. Public health policies and safety standards must be reevaluated to ensure they adequately protect against the potential risks of RFR exposure. I urge you to contact your candidates and demand action on these critical issues. Let them know that the health and safety of the American people should be a top priority. Together we can ensure a healthier future for all Americans. Let's unite in this endeavor and show our commitment to prioritizing the well-being of our citizens. What is blue light, and how does it affect health? Blue light is high-energy visible light emitted by screens and artificial lighting. Prolonged exposure can disrupt melatonin production, affecting sleep and potentially leading to mood disorders and other health issues. How does microwave radiation from devices impact hormones? Microwave radiation from devices like cell phones and Wi-Fi routers can alter hormone levels, including testosterone, estrogen, and cortisol, potentially affecting reproductive health and stress responses. What are circadian rhythms, and why are they important? Circadian rhythms are the body's internal clock that regulates sleep-wake cycles and hormone release. Disruptions due to blue light or microwave radiation can impact hormonal balance and overall health. Can exposure to radiation contribute to gender dysphoria? Hormonal imbalances caused by radiation exposure might influence gender identity development. However, more research is needed to fully understand this potential link. How might radiation exposure be linked to mental health disorders? Disruptions in hormones like cortisol and thyroid hormones from radiation exposure could contribute to mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, and ADHD. Why is it important to restore funding to the National Toxicology Program, NTP? The NTP's research on RF radiation has shown cancer risks. Restoring its funding is crucial for continuing this important research and understanding the long-term effects of RF radiation. What is the problem with the current FCC safety guidelines? The FCC's guidelines, established in 1996, have not been updated to reflect recent scientific findings. They do not account for non-thermal effects or the full range of potential health impacts from RF radiation. What are non-thermal effects of RF radiation? Non-thermal effects refer to biological interactions beyond the heating effect of RF radiation, including potential disruptions to cellular signaling and immune system modulation. How can I reduce my exposure to blue light and RF radiation? Use blue light filters on screens, limit screen time, use hands-free devices for calls, and maintain a safe distance from radiation-emitting devices. What actions can I take to advocate for better health protections? Contact your representatives to push for the restoration of NTP funding and updates to FCC safety guidelines. Support educational campaigns and adopt protective measures to reduce your own exposure.